How many calories a day for a 17-year-old who works out twice a day and is trying to bulk? Well, Joey, as a general rule, there's something called the Harris-Benedict equation. The Harris-Benedict equation is the best way we being the community at large, feels we can estimate what your true caloric need is per day, what's known as your BMR, your basal metabolic rate. That's how many calories does your body need to survive while at rest. So like if you're just laying in bed for an entire day, how many calories do you burn? Well, there's what's known as the Harris-Benedict equation. You can go online, they have great calculators, super easy, or you can just simply add a 0 to your body weight. If you're, relatively lean and fit and healthy, and you play with that 0 to, maybe a 0.8 or a 1.2, if you're not. And what that means, if I'm 200 pounds, I add a 0 to that, that means I need about 2,000 calories per day. It's within, a few dozen calories, maybe a couple hundred calories, but it's certainly close enough to give you a benchmark. And then you think about, what do you do during the day? What other calories are you expending while not at rest? Do you go to work? Do you stand up out of your bed where you just burnt maybe a calorie or 3 through that action and motion? You go through your day. Maybe the average person burns another 200 to 500 calories per day just through general activity. So let's say 300 just for an average. Now, do you work in an office? Are you a bartender on your feet? Are you swinging a hammer as a contractor? Or are you a lifeguard just kind of sitting under the umbrella in the sun all day? Are you a student walking campus backpacks, like cognitive expenditure, working and thinking? Are you sitting in an office just kind of, droning away, which I'm in an office technically right now at my laptop, just sitting in a chair, So you're aware of that. That's another maybe 300 to 500. So let's say 300 average. And then in the gym, you're exercising once or twice a day. Let's say it's once a day. During that time, you could be burning anywhere between 200 and 1,200 calories, depending on how hard you go. I would say an average estimate would be about 600 to 800 calories burned if you're truly putting in the work for that hour. You're not going crazy the entire time, and you're not just kind of walking on the treadmill. Let's say 600 to 800. Let's say 700, so we have easy math. So you started at 200 calories per day. General activity is 300. Your work is 300. You're at 2,600 calories right there. Your workout is another 700 calories, right? So you have the 2,600 plus 700. Now you're at 3,300 calories per day. So if you're a 200-pound person living that type of lifestyle, you'll need about 3,300 calories per day. Do you want to now start gaining weight? We would add another 300 calories on top of that. We're going to take in about 3,600 calories that day. Or do I want to lose weight? What we're going to do, instead of dropping our calories, we're going to increase our exertion. I want to burn another 300 calories. So now I'm going to wake up first thing in the morning. I'm going to do low intensity, steady state cardiovascular activity while fasting. Now, while fasted means it's the absence of insulin. That's the way that I look at being fasted. Your body will preferentially burn body fat, but also it'll burn the stubborn body fat most efficiently in this state while fasted at low intensities. If we train at higher intensities, resistance training, sprinting, cycling, going harder, then our body starts asking for glucose, which is stored in the muscles in the liver as glycogen. You with me? Everybody with me? So that stored glycogen then is switched on to be used as the primary fuel source for that higher level of exertion. That's why if we're trying to recomp, we use that low intensity steady state cardiovascular activity while fasted in the absence of insulin for 30 to 60 minutes or so. That's where we're going to get that extra 300 or so calories from, but also we're going to be more efficient in our ability to recomposition our body, because now we're very specifically targeting certain types of body fat to the best of our individual ability, right? Because we're each unique individual. So everything that we say is not 100% absolute for every single person, but it is 100% absolute for the majority of people. There are other absolutes also, which is an interesting thing. We believe that this type of setup, this type of system, instead of like I'm counting macros and I'm just weighing my foods, or I'm doing the exclusionary, I'm just getting rid of all my carbs, keto style, Atkins style, zero carb diets. We don't really look at it like that. We take a much more practical approach, a more holistic approach, an approach we feel is more efficient for the average person, right? Again, in generalities, for the majority of people, taking this type of setup is much easier to transition into. And I know, Joey, I'm answering your question very long. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to really speak to this. But you're transitioning into a lifestyle. That way you're not following, I'm on keto now, I'm on Atkins now, I'm intermittent fasting now, I'm paleo now, I'm, whatever, else you have now. You're not just doing that stuff. You're not doing that stuff at all anymore. Now you're just living a normal life based upon principles, right? We're eating real food with great variety for micronutrient efficiency based upon our activity, along with our stated goal to gain or lose weight, using our current health level and physiology, biochemistry, as the base and foundation. Are you more or less insulin sensitive? Do you have high levels of body fat or low levels of body fat? Are you a marathon runner or a power lifter as your stated goals? That way we start to put all this stuff together. So then there's no single blueprint, single template works for everybody. You follow these principles, which are the Dolce Diet principles, and you immediately feel better, look better, perform better, live better. And then you continue on through that 80%. And then if you want to make a 20% change, because 20% of us, and I'm not even in that category per se, are running the marathons and competing in the MMA competitions. They have that 20% specificity that they need to change, or to really address that. The average person, right now I'm in that phase, I just want to be healthy. I want to do everything perfectly, but I'm not training for any specific event. I'm not trying to dramatically lose body weight or gain body weight. I'm just living lean, and that's our Living Lean program. Our Living Lean principles, just living lean. So Joey, to close on this question of how many calories for a 17-year-old who works out twice a day and is trying to bulk, I would start with you using the system that I just told you and add 300 calories. And I would let those 300 calories sit for, anywhere between 3 and 10 days before you make another adjustment. How does it feel, and where are you spreading those calories? I would spread those calories probably post-workout. I would have a bigger dump. I'd probably double my post-workout. So that's the shake. Let's say you're trying to gain weight, some sort of shake right after workout. And then the next meal, that's where I would put the majority, if not all of those, because 300 calories is not a ton throughout the day. And I give that 3 to 10 days to see, did I gain half a pound? I step on the scale every morning. You should always step on the scale every morning, just so you know where you're at. It's just a baseline. We don't judge ourselves, our self-worth by that, people out there. You know where you're at, and you can see, well, shit, I've been at, you're 17 years old, let's say you're 170 pounds, you're 170, 170, 170, 170, 170 and a half, 170 and a half, 170.8, 170.8, 171.2. You can see that. You should be tracking that. You should have that written down just so you can see it and track it. Then you can gauge your own results. Why not? That makes these calorie conversations and consumption conversations very easy, because we have that hard baseline. We have that long list of data, right? So we're not just guessing and throwing numbers up in the air and throwing calories in the air. Most people who talk about calorie consumption never even consider calorie exertion. How many calories do I actually need? Am I using today? Then I can determine how much I throw in. Most people just throw in more. Just eat more or eat less, or eat this 1,200 or 4,200 calories. What are you exerting? Beta-alanines. Nico, what's up, brother? I got to hit you up, man. Beta-alanine benefits for performance. Nico, beta-alanine has been shown clinically to offer some sort of performance benefit in some studies. Personally, I haven't seen it. And I have no dog in the fight. I have no vested interest. I haven't seen it. And I've probably worked with 20 different athletes that were taking on their own beta-alanine in some way, shape, or form during a point in their career. I didn't see a benefit. I didn't see a measurable benefit. And with them, I didn't see anyone say, some said, yeah, it's great. Some said, I don't feel anything. And some said, I don't know, maybe it's working. so common. So there was nothing like creatine is, I would say, yeah, that works. The beta alanine, it's